Well, a bit of a rarity. I told you guys all the time, I don't like waiting till a horse races to do the videos the next day because it feels like it's wrong. And last night I just had a great feeling about LD's Patrick, the way he was coming in, the way he trained, the way he felt. Even with the cancellation last week, I still thought that he had a great shot. Man, he looked fantastic last night. Just he looks like a different horse, and James says he feels like a different horse. And you know, sometimes a change does that, right? And sometimes just a change of scenery, that's all they need to spark them back up and have them coming forward. And he seems happier now. He seems like he, and I can only say from when we first got him, he seems happier. He seems he's doing well. But win will do that. A win will do that for you and me, and the win will do that for a horse also. So great to see LD's Patrick win last night. Swan's Honey was a winner on Thursday. She looked fantastic. And then Jazz was a winner this week. Jekyll and Hyde was second. So even after the cancellations of Monday, we still had a pretty good week. Now, I will tell you right now, a little caveat. Jekyll and Hyde is one win from being on gate, and that has nothing to do with the horse. But there is nowhere to race him and Jazz if they both win this week. They drew 1 and 2, and they both have very good chances to win. Now, it was funny. I was all but set to just take Jazz to the breeding farm. And a lot of people ask, well, there's got to be a place to race her. Yeah, sure there is. Like a 10,000 claimer, 12 claimer. I don't want to put her in there. I mean, she's done a lot for us. I love horses that try. Keep in mind, just go look at the year this poor filly has hit the head in 2021. Injury after injury after injury. And still comes out swinging at the end of the year. After a year of just one thing after another, just put her in a position to win and she'll win. You can't fault horses that do that. And she's a good filly, and as I said, I was never at the start of the year. Breeding was never on my mind with my Jazz. I just figured she'd be a stake filly, and then we'll see what happens. And she got hampered and hindered and hurt, and then finally got back on a winning streak, I guess, a winning note. And we got looking at it, and I thought, well, we could sell her. Now, keep in mind, she's in a claimer right now, but again, she's got one win in that class. And it was funny because Jason came to me yesterday and he says, well, if you want to race her a couple more starts, I'd be happy to drive her in the amateur races. And Jason's not a driver, but he wants to. Everybody loves to drive horses. It's a great feeling. And we probably will, quite frankly. If my Jazz wins this week, we probably could put her in an amateur race a couple of times for Jason. I mean, she's literally sound now, feeling good, and is about to run out of races for her career. So, yeah, I mean, I can't really think of a reason not to. So, I do want to have her shut down February, first part of February, so that we can get her under the lights and make sure we get her in full. I don't want the mares in full in June this year, May, right? March, April will be a great time. So, Compass Rose DC and my Jazz closing in on that stale date. Funny, they always taste better the day after a win also, eh? So today is a rarity. My father and mother are up. We're all going away, and everybody keeps saying, I don't want to bother you, but where are you going? We're going to Mexico. Going to Mexico on Monday for a week. We've had a plan for a while. Before the pandemic, my family went away. Now, James can't go away this year for just various small reasons. I imagine him and I and Curtis will get away somewhere throughout the year. But, and Mark and Lloyd, everybody, we're not like tight knit, but we are, in the sense that it's Sunday morning. My brother Curtis is bringing his kids over for breakfast. James is bringing Griffin over and Paige for breakfast. So everybody's happy today. So it's been a great weekend. We all got to watch LD's Patrick win with James last night. And now a little family breakfast. Been a long time since we had this. But a little family breakfast today. So I'm feeling great. It's a great day. It's snowing a bit, but I don't care. So it's definitely going to be a good day. A key point this week, it dawned on me. I had got the contract from Mohawk. I had been in talks, just off the cuff, hey Anthony, how you doing? What about the Mohawk Millions this year? Are you coming in? Are you going to buy a spot? Yeah, I think I will. I think we probably could. I get the contract in my email and I'm like, how am I going to pay for this? Because I I can't pick a horse. That never works good, right? To pick a horse, to put in a stake race months and months and months in advance, it just never works, right? And then you're locked in, right? Then you're like, oh, well, we promised this horse, but maybe another one's training better now or racing better. We were talking September. Maybe that's a better one. How do I take that lot away from the group that paid for it to try and give it to a more deserving horse, so to speak? It's unfair and it's very stressful. And it wasn't again, I loved all the emails we got. I kept a lot of them. I saved a lot of them because we can retrofit a lot of those ideas to purpose something else we're trying to do down the road. So I'm always floored when we get such great feedback from our clients. I truly appreciate all the emails. It was great. But as I said, I think the easiest way to go is quite simple. Go with the easiest route. Treat it as a loan, inside, in-house. So, and I didn't know how that worked. So theoretically, we would build a partnership and offer a 10% return on that partnership. We don't usually do that. We don't talk about returns and making money. But geez, if we have a way to do that in this group, that would be great, especially for people that have put so much time and effort into the stable.ca. But I still didn't know it would be that easy. Within me saying that, within an hour of me saying that, we had both so we had the spot for the Mohawk Millions paid for, theoretically, an agreement upon it, and also another client called and said I'd be happy to put up the whole 100,000, and I said I'm really sorry, we already got somebody to put up at least half of it. You can put half up if you want. He goes, oh, okay, that's great. I know that the Next Generation series, same type of thing. Are you gonna need help with that? Yeah. So I think it's only fair, and this is all in-house. This is what I love about it, is that we are going to have the Mohawk Million stake race funded. We're giving our clients, that group, a 10% return. So we're not paying 100, we're paying 110, but we don't have to pay it in full, pay it back to that group until September 1st. The convenience of that alone is, well, it's measurable. It's 10,000. It's not immeasurable. It's measurable, but it's fair for both parties too, and it takes a lot of stress, and it keeps it objective. Keep in mind, if we had 40 clients that put money up for that 100,000 and they own pieces of some of those horses, there may be some partisan feelings there, and I'd rather not have that. I really just want it to be about the best horse. Theoretically, and I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, and I don't want to, but this is by far the best crop of yearlings we've ever had. You guys know that, right? That's just not me blowing smoke. You can see that both on the pedigree pages and on the track, especially after yesterday. And, to be able to pick the best horse, I think we will have a horse. Hopefully that will be that type of caliber. We certainly bought some to be that type of caliber, so I would hope that we would. It just made more sense this way. So we have the Mohawk Millions funded, and we are paying to our clients out there that own the horses. I guess I should send this out in the contracts for this year, just so everybody's clear, because I don't want. Last thing I want is somebody saying, "Oh, I didn't know that." We are paying 110, not 100. We're going to give the 10,000 back to this group as a return, because they're going to put up the money months and months, 9 months in advance, 8 months in advance. So it's only fair. And then the Next Generation also, same type of deal, only we'd have to pay that back July 1st, and it would be $1,000 on the $10,000 entry fee. So I never thought of this. It never dawned on me, and it just seems like, do you ever have that moment when something was just so simple? How did you not know that? And that's the watershed moment I had yesterday, or 2 days ago when I read that email. So woke up today, LD's Patrick's a winner. Swan's Honey was a winner. My Jazz was a winner. Jekyll and Hyde was second. Those are the horses we raced for the most part this week. We have the Mohawk Million paid for. We have the Next Generation stake races paid for. And we have a number of horses knocking on the door getting ready. Keep in mind, I trained Kings County this week. I like this horse a lot. We had them all to the vet. Sure, there's some bumps and bruises on Kings County. He's a 6-year-old that had 8 starts in 2 years. Of course he does. They were old soft tissue injuries, but very minor. And the rehab job that the Antonacci family did on Kings County was incredible. You look at this horse, If I gave you $100 to tell me which leg he injured, you would not be able to win that $100 unless you just gambled. You could be right. You'd have a 25% chance, but you wouldn't be able to see it. The job they did rehabbing this horse was incredible. Great job by them, and the horse looks like $1 million. So Kings County will school Friday, race the following week. Now, the only reason we want to school him is we want to get a feel for him. We did change his gear a little bit. We did change his shoes. He's coming off second place finish at the Meadowlands. But again, this is very important. Pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. All those horses arrived from the East Coast of the U.S. with no cork because they don't use cork in the Meadowlands for the most part, right? So this will be the first time Kings County has ever had corks on his shoes, ever. So we would like to get a mile into him. The equipment that I put on him is a little bit different than what they had. The shoes that we had on them is a little bit different. So I want to get a feel for him. James will go with them. I'm going to be gone away, but James will go with them next Friday. James will also, and he'll race the following week. James will also go with Captain Michael Dio. I trained him a mile in the jog cart Friday, I think Friday, and I let him roll on the end of it. This is a horse I'd never seen before, right? Just saw a blurry video of a qualifier. Had him up to the vet, green light across the board. His feet are a little contracted, but that's just racehorse stuff. That's not a big deal. We'll put bar shoes on him up front, opened up his heels a little bit, just normal shoes behind, full suede shoes behind, ran them back a little bit, which means I guess there'd be a tiny little bit sticking out. So for those of you out there that know, that would be like a trailer almost. So we have a tiny double trailer on this horse. The reason being he's narrow up front. He paces up into his gait behind. Sometimes you'll have horses like him that will come up, and if they just stray to the left or right, they could catch a quarter and hit themselves, make a break. So I just opted for a little longer shoe, just backed it up a little bit on him. I think he's wearing a 60-inch hobble, and I let him pace as hard as he could lay his legs down the lane. That turn by the road is as tight as any turn in horse racing outside of fairs. Trust me. And he busted right through that turn. Little out of gear, but never offered to make a break. Really just looking for a way to go through. Maybe we had his hobbles a little longer than what they had them, but I'm happy with the way the horse looks. Just a closed bridle, knee boots, shin boots, 60-inch hobble, head pole on the left. Captain Michael Dio is ready to go. He's going to school on Friday. We train Bolt Power. Now, again, floor scoping 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds even, is not the same as yearlings. So you're going to see issues. Bolt Power, a little scar on his left hind suspensory, so he had something starting there. Again, they did a good job with him, whoever had him. It's cleaned up fine now. Knees are really used up on him, rough-looking knees. So we just have to manage them, right? We put some acid in his knees Thursday, one of the two. Dr. McKee did, and Harry trained him slow mile yesterday. He looked good. Now, Harry's take on him is simple. He's really bulky. For a medium-sized horse, he's really bulky because he's a stud. So we might castrate this horse, actually. And Harry's like, well, I think he'd be a better gelding. Okay, so castrate him. I will give you this one caveat, though. I said to Harry, I would school him and then castrate him, because if you castrate him, you're missing more time. Now it's just not time you missed, but it's time compounded from the last race day he raced, which is December 28th. I would like to see you school him in 58 or 59 on Friday, castrate him Saturday morning. Then you only have to wait a week or two. And you can train him slow maybe the next Thursday. He'll be okay. But it's important, I think, to get that schooler in first. So that Harry's like, yeah, that makes sense. So I think that's what we're going to do with him. I was a little miffed this week that Tiger and Locatelli are in together. I voiced my displeasure with the race office. It's not really their fault. I mean, when they canceled, he was in the 22,000 class, and they opened it up for him. But they opened it up for him, and they didn't have to this week. They needed another horse for the Open. It was, in their mind, it's simple. Either we open a class up for you to win, open up a class where you're going to be in tough, or you don't race at all. They opted for the tough. And I said, okay, I'll play ball, but I'm going to be as clear as I can. If this becomes a regular occurrence, if you're stuffing Locatelli in the Open, a horse that just turned 4 in the Open with aged horses, one of which made $250,000 as an aged horse last year in one calendar year, I'm just going to send him away. You're never going to have him again. I said, I'm not going to name trainers, but I'm not like these other trainers that are happy to race 2 in the same race. I'm not. And if it becomes a regular occurrence, you will definitely only have 1 for the race, because I'll send the other one away. So, I've been pretty boisterous. I'm going to have time in Mexico. I'm probably going to write a blog letter to the editor type on Standardbred Canada. Make it clear as I can. I've told the race office this, so they've had fair warning. They have the ability to compile a list of real-time horses in Ontario. You could build a very fluid, real-time condition sheet. And further to that, if we, the stable, knew that they needed an On Winners of 4 pacer to go at that class full-time every week, we go buy one. But how can I convince you to go buy a horse? We bought Swan's Honey for the 15,000 claimer. It's never filled. Not one time since we bought her at Mohawk. But I mean, if you were actively trying to fill that class and engaging trainers in Ontario, you would fill that class, guaranteed. And there's no arguing. You can argue with me, but I've been in this game a long time too. And I guarantee you, if you approached Richard Moreau, Carmen Osiello, Rob Fellows, Victor Putty, Anthony McDonald, and 10 other people with an email or a text message saying, hey, we need to get to 15 to 20 going. Can you take some of your horses from the B tracks and put them in there? If you can't, can you get some to bring in here? You know, we'd like to start writing it in 2 weeks and filling it. It would be done. But they choose not to. That's not on the people of Ontario. That's not on the horsemen of Ontario. That's on the race office. And there has to be culpability. You have to be responsible for what you put out there. I know how hard the race offices work to fill classes. I'm not saying you're lazy. I know you work your ass off. But there's working and then there's working, right? What I mean by that is I can go in every day and just clean stalls until I get tired and go home. Or I can go in there and make sure our horses are training good, put the equipment on them, and make sure they're ready to go, right? There's two different kinds of work. Both you work very hard for the day. So the people in the race office that know exactly what I'm talking about, you know who you are. You can be a little proactive. Just because no one else does this doesn't mean it can't be done. You need to be a little more pragmatic, especially in a day and age. Guys, trust me when I tell you this, and this is for the race office who already knows, and every client we have. There isn't a racetrack in North America, not one racetrack in North America that isn't short entry. Oh, I might be wrong. I can't speak for Yonkers. They race for a ton of money, so maybe they're inundated. But there isn't, outside of Yonkers, I can guarantee you there isn't one racetrack that isn't short horses every single week. I'll come down in a bit.
Well, your mom wants to go to the mall, so we're going to have both cars go.
The mall's open till 5, 6, sweetie. I'll come down in a bit. Amy's going to the barn right now. So, and this isn't a dig on the race office. It's just take a step back and look at what you had. I made a joke about it the other day. I said, I wonder how long it took for somebody to figure out how to make an omelet. Well, we got eggs. Hey, we got bacon. We have cheese. We have onions. What if we just put them all together and call it something? You have all the parts. You have all the parts to revolutionize, I guess. Not really revolutionize, but really mainstream the way that we streamline the way that we enter horses, the way that we look at horse racing. Why does the condition sheet from last week have to be the same this week? If you know all the horses you have in Ontario, or even every 2 weeks, take a look at what you have. Okay, these are the classes that are going to fill. This is what we're going to write. Go. And then further to that, this is what we'd like to fill. Now we're looking at how we're going to do it. We're going to reach out to a number of trainers and stables and get that done. That's what they should do. And I'm going to write about it. I think, because it's just common sense, right? And that's the thing, we joke about it, but a lot of the times, definitely in society this day and age, common sense isn't that common. And sometimes it's hard to see. You go in, you work your butt off, you don't see what was right in front of you, but it is. So, very happy, as I said, about the way things are going. This is most definitely, one, the best group of horses we've ever had, and two, every bit as important, the best start to any year we've ever had, right? Every year it's just struggling, trying to find a spot. We've never won so many races at Mohawk. We've never had so many horses to race at Mohawk. It's a transformational time. Really transition. There's real transition going on in the stable.ca, and I hope the culmination of that is our stake season 2022. So with that, as I said, Captain Michael Dio is going to school Friday. Swan's Honey will back in to go Thursday. I suspect Travis will be down to drive her. My Jazz will race on Wednesday, I believe. If she wins, her only option after that is maybe Jason a couple of times in the amateurs. I know Jason would love to drive her. He loves the filly. He's trained her whole life for the most part, definitely at the races. And he gets along pretty good with her. So I for my vote, as one of your partners would be, let him drive her a couple of times. Her career's done. So, and she's going to be a mom. So let's allow her to do that. Let's allow both of them to do it. Jekyll and Hyde, if he wins on Wednesday, he's going on gate right away. This is a horse that was very good for us, but again ran out of classes. There is nothing left for old Jecky after one more win. Bolt Power will race on, will school on Friday, I suspect, for that man that just pulled up, James McDonald. I know he hates doing interviews and hates talking on videos, but I might be able to get him out to talk. Maybe about the babies a little bit, maybe about his award that he's getting. And I don't mean to jump the gun, but I don't think it's jinx. You know, the kid's 1-9 to win. He doesn't win the O'Brien Award, there should be a riot.
What's up?
Hi. Hello, Jim. Jim, I meant to tell you that that's an ugly coat.
Yeah, I love it.
I know, that's fine.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you a few questions about the O'Brien Awards and stuff for people, because everybody, for some reason, a lot of people like you.
Right
I'm going to
now?
finish this little... Yeah, jump in. I'm going to finish this video real quick, and then I'm going to do one with you.
Yeah, like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it won't be long. Well, probably 8 minutes, but it won't be long. Come on, jump in.
Just 1 second.
There's my other brother, Curtis. Hello, Kurt, man. There's his little boy, Lincoln.
Dad wearing his mask in there?
Yeah. Got to go.
Doing your videos?
Yeah. Yeah. So, Bolt Power will likely school. He was maybe a week or two behind everybody, so I know Harry wants to get him castrated. We've talked about schooling the horse. We've talked about getting him done. So I think this week he has to school him. Hi, Lennon.
Hi, Landon.
Hi, James. So we'll likely school him Friday in 2 minutes and then castrate him. He'll race a week or two after that, maybe once more. Kings County, Jim right here. James McDonald is going to drive Kings County. And put that back if you want. Who is close? Matt's MVP is close. You got a bunch of horses to school this Friday, eh?
It's wonderful.
So and Sue might have to go too. I think she got a series coming up. Granite Hill, Matt's MVP. Kathy and I will all qualify when I get back. Now I land on Monday. Tuesday I'm going to go over, or maybe maybe Wednesday morning I'll go over and qualify those 3 horses. Actually, the sale is then too, so I might go down to the sale depending on what's in there, because we will have Hill of Magic and Prairie Fire definitely going to the sale. Massive Profit is close. And Mary and I had a great conversation with a client the other day. Say, Anthony, why are we getting Massive Profit ready so early? The horse is a stake horse. I said, well, we assume he's a stake horse. This is a tough game to make assumptions in, I can tell you that. The non-winner's a 1, non-winner's a 2. Pretty cheap right now, Mohawk, right? Let's take what's given. Let's take what's given to us, and if we really like what we see, we can shut him down for a few weeks and then send him towards Indiana. I mean, if I thought he was ready, if I in my mind could convince myself he was a 53, 54 trotter, he wouldn't be qualifying right now. I like him. I think he's a good colt. He didn't really let me down last year, but I need to see what he can do, and I think racing right now makes tons of sense. Peanut Butter and Jelly is very close. Stonebridge Ducati, both of them, all 3 of those horses trained at Mohawk this week. Mario said he wanted to school them. I said, why don't you train them another week and then school them? Arches Rainbow, I just spoke to the vet. You know what I love? Here's a surgeon, more than a vet, a surgeon that works at the University of Guelph, operates on horses all week. I sent her a message on Sunday. Now, I know Natalie Cote very well. I sent her a message Sunday at 9 a.m. I'm like, I'm really sorry for the Sunday note, but it seems like in the morning and at night are the only times I have a clear line of thought. All the paths I'm working on are clear to me. And she said, I'm the same way. She goes, you can message me whenever you want, which is great. She said she's going to swing by with the dynamic scope for Arches Rainbow on January the 31st. Now, I told you guys what that is. They put the scope on, train the filly, and it gives them a real-time look at what's going on in that throat, right? It somehow looks like it's cleaning up, which is awesome. Did I tell you that? They said that...
yeah, you said that.
Yeah, so they'll get a look at Arches Rainbow on the 31st. Brave World's very close. Peanut's getting close. No Free Lunch Harry is schooling him on Friday. Also, you do have a lot of schoolers on Friday. Eglaire AM, you're taking over with Will to Win Wednesday, did you say?
Saturday, I just told Amy.
Saturday? Next Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, so next Saturday, Eglaire AM and Will to Win are going over. You guys saw Will to Win, Stonebridge, Dolce, Tioga Sunshine. Now, in fairness to Tioga Sunshine, she's a couple of training trips behind them, but it was a day to do work, so she worked. And Eyes of 10, that was Dominic way back. He's getting a little learning curve of how we train horses at the stable. It's not quite how Dominic's used to training. So there's going to be a tiny little bit of a learning curve there for him. But all 4 of those horses, Will to Win was really good, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So James said she's getting a little hot, but when she's quiet, she's no good. Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah.
So have her a little bit warm, right on the edge of warmness, and then she'll do her best work. So that's your opening video for this week. We talked about all the horses, talked about the babies in the baby video also, how I was impressed with them, how they did their work yesterday. I might be able to talk James into doing a top 10 list. But for now, I told him I wanted to come out here. I want to talk about, actually we can do it right now, the O'Brien Awards. Now, I'll tell you what, I know nobody wants to jinx anybody, but if he doesn't win the O'Brien, there'll be a riot, as I said. He's 1-9. Deservedly so. You got a horrible fashion taste. Like, that is the ugliest coat I've ever seen in my life.
Coat.
That is an ugly coat.
Beautiful coat.
Where were you? Just in the woods chopping down?
It's Roots. It's good Canadian company.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't mean you have to support them when they make ugly clothing.
No, I love it.
Okay, well, that's good. What about the collar? Are we going to flip it down, or are we just going to go Fonzie?
I'm going like half up.
You're going half
down.
up, half?
Maybe I'll go full up now,
Full
just
up?
to annoy you.
Okay. So, I shared a video they did last night. Well, I don't know when they did it. I saw it last night of you talking on Woodbine Live.
Yeah, it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I watched the whole thing thinking that we are going to get a shout out for like 3 Point Blue Chip or the Stabler or anybody. But anyway, that's not.
I think I did, actually.
No, I watched the whole thing. Not one time did you mention us. That's fine. So, when is the O'Briens? And they're virtual again. You're getting screwed, eh?
Yeah, February 6th, I believe.
I don't know that there's ever been a family hit 3 O'Brien winners.
I don't think so.
And Curtis,
Maybe.
like you said in the video, he likely will win. Has to win one at some point.
Yeah.
They can only give it to Woodbine so many years before they finally give it to Curtis. So that will be 4 family members. Now, granted, I mean, you're the driving ones given out every year. The Camp Follows every few years. I'm not saying it's more important or more special. I'm not alluding to that. Congratulations on winning it. What about LD's Patrick last night?
He was good, Big Patrick. He's good.
Coming around? Is he growing on you a little bit, old Patty?
He won. That's all you need.
I noticed the earplugs were in, but did he do the moonwalk down the lane, or was he just shut down?
He wasn't overloaded, but he's not really, like, I think he's better following a horse, but what are you going to do?
I said to Dad, when you do get up in the hours of 4, like I told you before, he'll follow some speed. I think he'll be a really
Yeah,
nice
he
horse.
sat in the hole not too bad. He didn't get hot until I'd move him back.
Scott's
to the
horse is a slob, so
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to follow him.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to Scott's horse's trainer or owner or Scott.
You can't really say that. It's like one of those things, like you say something mean and then you say no disrespect. It's still disrespectful.
That's called a backhanded. Well, it
No,
would be a
no.
backhanded compliment, but it's not really a compliment.
Like I could say you're
Like
ugly
if I
and
said-
say, hey, no disrespect,
No.
you're ugly. It's
No,
still kind
no.
of
What
mean.
it would be like if I said, the horse is a pig, but but he's a pretty horse. That's a backhanded compliment. You know what I mean? It's just-
I'm aware of what it is.
Anyway, his horse was over his head, overmatched at 31-1 with 3 favorites in behind him. Yeah, he did look very comfortable in the hole, which I was surprised because you opted for the earplugs instead of the hood. But
Yeah.
and I saw he had the jawbreaker on, and he still was pretty quiet, eh?
Yeah.
Old
Yeah.
Patrick, he's coming around.
He was not quiet when he got to the lead. He was pretty hot.
Well, did you not see when I drove him last
know,
time to see some over to the half? Very happy with our boy Patrick. It's always nice. You can't always buy horses that are going to come forward, but when you look at our last few now, High Gear No Fear, we haven't made any money with him, but I think he's going to come around. He doesn't look like a good horse right now, and that's exactly the older French lady that takes care of him right now in Harry's barn. He's in Harry's barn right now because Jason's barn was full, and he wasn't supposed to come in when he did. I told you guys the story. I took 2 out. I didn't realize that High Gear No Fear was there. I thought he was at another farm, and I had to take 2 back in. So I took him back in. I drew his blood. I didn't like what I saw with the liver count in him. We've put him on medication for it. His liver count has come down, but he just still looks a little woody and a little underweight. So Danielle, the older lady's been working with him, and he's starting to shine up and look good. So not very often you're going to see a horrible-looking horse race great. It doesn't happen that often. Sometimes you do, but not often. This horse, I saw a picture of him before he went to Yonkers. So we bought him off Steve Palermo. He showed me a picture of this horse on the cross ties in London. Before they sent him to Yonkers, he looked like a monster. He was huge and big, good-looking, proud-looking horse. Now he just looks like he was working in the coal mines for 6 months. He's coming. He's coming, but it's going to take time. But when you look at our last 3, LD's Patrick was a slam dunk. Swan's Honey has been great, and Jekyll and Hyde has been fantastic in Ohio for us. That's best case scenario for the stable. Now, I just finished telling you guys we're going to sell Jekyll and Hyde for classification reasons, but a horse like LD's Patrick's the exact opposite. That horse can go He'll race right till June with no issues, I don't think. And that's the type of horse we're always on the prowl for. So a number of horses, as I said, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So between 15 and 18 horses will be ready to go in the next 3 weeks. So the stable's about to heat up on the track anyway. Hopefully stay hot in the winter circle, but heat up on the track in the near future. So I am going to push you. We're going to do a little top 10 list because I never get to do you anyway because you leave right
Not
after.
right now, though.
It'll only take a second.
No, not right
I already have a list you can look at.
now.
The bacon's not ready yet. Dad's cooking.
I'm aware, but...
And you look like a lumberjack. All right, we'll be back in just a second.